Have you ever wondered, why do some people in their 92nd or even 102nd still have sharp memories and speak with the wit of someone in their prime? Meanwhile, others in their 52nd are already complaining. Where did I leave my keys yesterday? Or, what was that acquaintance's name again? We often assume that memory decline is an inevitable part of aging. But the truth is, mental sharpness doesn't just depend on genetics, it's also shaped by the small daily habits we cultivate. If we neglect them, our brains can quietly age prematurely, making life feel sluggish, scattered, and even lonely. In this video, we'll explore 5 habits. They may sound simple, but they hold the power to keep your mind clear, your reflexes sharp, and your zest for life overflowing. You can start practicing them today and imagine a future where, at 80, you're still leisurely reading books, sharing stories with your grandkids, or tossing out clever quips like a youthful friend. So, if you want to gift yourself an old age that's not just long but truly vibrant, stick with us until the end of this video. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so I can join you on this journey to a lifetime of mental clarity. 1. Daily movement. Imagine your body as a finely tuned machine that only runs at its best when it receives the right signals. Live, thrive. We were born to move, not to be glued to a chair. Every step, every stretch, sends a biological message throughout your body. Your heart pumps oxygen, rich blood, your organs are nourished, waste is cleared, and your brain receives a precious fertilizer called BDNF, a nerve growth factor that helps brain cells grow, connect more strongly, and become more resilient. In places known as blue zones, like Okinawa, Sardinia, or Nicoya, elderly people don't work out intensely, yet they live remarkably long lives thanks to small, consistent daily movements: walking, gardening, sweeping the yard, carrying groceries. This rhythm of life is like a steady stream, quietly keeping the mind sharp, slowing cognitive decline, and helping the brain better withstand degenerative diseases. In contrast, a sedentary lifestyle silently erodes the brain. Sitting too long reduces blood flow to the brain, weakens the flexibility of neural networks, and hampers BDNF production. Brain fog, poor focus, and heavy moods can creep in. Numerous research reviews have warned that cognitive decline risks rise significantly in older adults who remain inactive, while regular physical activity is linked to a clear reduction in dementia risk. This isn't just advice, it's physiological reality. Movement is the brain's maintenance mechanism. The easiest remedy might be right outside your door: walking. Just a brisk walk can lower cortisol, reduce inflammation, activate BDNF, and unlock memory, creativity, and focus. Neuroscience studies show that steady steps enhance the hippocampus, the brain's memory storage center, making it function more smoothly and even triggering new neuron growth. In older adults, maintaining a walking habit is tied to healthier brain structure through better sleep quality and reduced inflammation. When you walk in nature, the benefits amplify. Green spaces, rustling leaves, and soft light soothe anxiety and flood you with calm, as if your mind has been reset. You can feel this vividly. As your feet hit the ground, the motor cortex plans your stride, the cerebellum fine-tunes balance, and the limbic system regulates emotions. Signals travel down the pyramidal tracts to command your muscles, which send messages back in the form of myokines molecules that cross the blood-brain barrier to nourish neurons. Serotonin and dopamine rise, lightening your mood. That's why a short walk can transform your entire day, like opening a window to let fresh air into a stuffy room. The beauty is, you don't need a gym or a complex workout plan. Start your morning with a brisk walk to sync your biological clock. Too busy? Short bursts of movement throughout the day work just as well. Turn movement into meaningful chores. Carry grocery bags, sweep the yard, pull weeds, wipe down the kitchen. Natural functional exercises that centenarians still do. If your job requires sitting, every half hour to an hour, stand up, stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, loosen your hips, and relax your neck to release small knots of tension. Make movement a connection. Invite a friend for a walk, join a community dance class, or sign up for a park walking group. And if you need a mirror for motivation, wear a step counter. Sustainable goals visibly improve long-term health, and every small milestone deserves a proud smile. the cumulative impact of daily movement is far-reaching. Over time, your brain builds a cognitive reserve, the ability to adapt and compensate for age-related changes. Neural pathways strengthen, blood flow improves, and inflammation decreases. People who maintain moderate physical activity throughout life show significantly lower risks of cognitive decline compared to those who stay sedentary. Don't forget, the brain consumes a large share of the body's oxygen and nutrients. A healthy heart and blood vessels are essential for a sharp mind. Every step you take today is not just care for your legs, but a lasting investment in a bright, agile, and resilient mind for decades to come. If you've been inactive for a while, it's not too late. Stand up now, open the door, let your feet lead the way, and let your brain breathe. 2. Balanced and healthy eating. Imagine each meal as a letter sent to your cells, either an invitation to heal or a quiet signal nudging them toward aging. What you place on your plate isn't just energy, it's information that guides how your body repairs, fights inflammation, or gradually weakens. The long-lived people in blue zones have mastered the art of writing these letters, mostly plant-based, low in red meat and added sugars, rich in antioxidants, phytonutrients, and healthy fats. This is no accident. It's deeply tied to the clarity and resilience of their brains in later years. Trouble begins when the letter delivers bad news day after day. Ultra-processed foods, processed meats, sugary pastries. These spark chronic inflammation and oxidative stress, damaging neurons and accelerating the buildup of plaques linked to cognitive decline. Studies consistently show this trend, while plant-rich diets calm inflammatory markers in the blood, helping preserve cognitive function over time. In other words, your brain responds vividly to the message in your food: soothed when nourished well, disrupted when faced with overly sweet, salty, or refined fare. So, what does a good letter look like? Picture a simple lunch in your own kitchen, a plate of lightly fragrant roasted vegetables, perfectly seared salmon, and a serving of whole grains like quinoa or brown rice. This meal releases steady glucose, avoiding the erratic peaks and valleys that exhaust the brain and unsettle your mood. Omega-3 fatty acids like EPA and DHA from fish become building blocks for neuronal membranes, making synapses more flexible and thoughts more agile. In older age groups, those who prioritize omega-3 rich foods often show sharper memory and executive function compared to those with poor quality fat diets. Then there's the quiet protective shield of antioxidants. Vitamins C and E, flavonoids, and polyphenols in plants scavenge free radicals, reduce neuroinflammation, and bolster neuron survival. You can feel this in everyday moments. A few days of vibrant leafy greens and berries, and your mind feels clearer. Lean too heavily on sweets, and focus starts to blur. Compounds in strawberries, blueberries, and spinach aren't just colorful, they boost blood flow to the brain and smooth out information processing. Conversely, a diet heavy in ultra-processed foods disrupts the gut-brain axis. This two-way communication line shapes mood, thinking, and inflammatory responses. When the gut is disturbed by additives, repeatedly fried oils, or refined sugars, the signals sent to the brain get distorted, neural connections falter, insulin resistance creeps in, leaving the brain underfueled and accelerating cognitive aging. It's a silent spiral, but one you can step out of. The way out is often simpler than you'd think. Let colorful vegetables and fruits claim half your plate: leafy greens, deep purple berries, warm orange sweet potatoes. The rest goes to lean, friendly proteins like fatty fish or legumes, and rustic whole grains. Olive oil can be a loyal kitchen companion to ease inflammation, while nuts like walnuts add more omega-3 second. Red meat can still appear, but sparingly, as a rare accent rather than the star. When a sweet craving strikes, fruit answers better than candy. And don't forget water, each sip a gentle nudge for focus and the body's detox processes. Herbal teas or simple fruit, infused water are both pleasant and antioxidant rich. If you want a proven template, the Mediterranean-style diet close to Blue Zone practices is a reliable map. Abundant plants, fish, and olive oil, low in sugar and red meat, prioritizing whole foods. Over time, the brain builds resilience, emotional swings soften, and clarity is preserved. Where to start today? Maybe with a plate of vegetables in a new hue, a scheduled fish meal, swapping pastries for ripe fruit, or a water pitcher ready on the table. Small actions, done consistently, repeated, will write the most beautiful letters to your brain, clear, kind, and full of hope for decades ahead. 3. Proper sun exposure. Recall the most recent morning you stepped outside, the cool air brushing your skin, soft light spreading across your face, eyes gently squinting as your body seems to wake up. That fleeting moment is actually a biological switch. Early sunlight sends a direct signal to your internal clock, dialing down melatonin, the brake pedal of sleep, and gently boosting cortisol, the accelerator for alertness, setting the rhythm for your entire day. When this light-dark cycle is aligned, your brain sleeps deeper at night, focuses better during the day, and energy dips less abruptly. For older adults, simply stabilizing this rhythm can clear mental fog and steady their mood. Sunlight also acts as a silent laboratory on your skin. When UVB rays touch it, your body synthesizes vitamin D, a nutrient, not just for bones, but a lever for your brain. Vitamin D supports new neuron growth, soothes neuroinflammation, and boosts serotonin production, the neurotransmitter tied to optimism and calm. In older age groups, adequate vitamin D levels are linked to lower dementia risk and better executive function. Deficiency, which is strikingly common, correlates with faster cognitive decline, mood disorders, and a weakened immune system. It's no coincidence that in longevity hotspots, centenarians spend time outdoors daily, gardening, strolling to a community hub, tending vegetable patches. They absorb light as a natural part of life, and their brains reap enduring sharpness. Light also touches your emotions. Exposure to natural sunlight boosts serotonin, thinning the clouds of anxiety and lethargy, spreading a sense of calm like a long, relaxed exhale. T cells in your immune system wake up, patrolling more effectively, helping reduce chronic inflammation, a hidden thread tied to brain aging. You'll notice this on sunny days. Your mind feels brighter, decisions clearer, and nighttime sleep more restful. Of course, sunlight is a medicine that needs a prescription. The best window is morning, 15-30 minutes, outdoors between 7 and 10 a.m., when UVB rays are just right to sync your biological clock and kickstart vitamin D production. You might take a gentle walk, do a few stretches, or simply sip coffee on the porch, letting your forearms and legs soak up the light comfortably. Midday, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., UV intensity spikes. If you're out then, cover up or apply sunscreen after a brief 10-15-minute initial exposure to balance benefits with skin protection. Whenever possible, weave light into daily habits, a small garden to tend, a walking route to a community spot. These slices of outdoor life add up to a steady light source for your mind. If you live in a low-sun area, don't leave it to chance. An annual vitamin D check can show where you stand. With proper medical guidance, supplements can bridge the gap in dim months. Aim for 30-50 ng/ml, the safe zone for brain and immune health. Like a steady current, keeping your system running smoothly. We're spending more time indoors than ever. Glass windows, screen lights, and packed schedules throw off our biological clocks, deplete vitamin D, and let cognitive fog and low mood creep in over time. But light is still there, just outside your door. When you prioritize morning sun each day, you're feeding your brain an irreplaceable nutrient, a tuned biological rhythm, a brighter mood, a nimble immune system, and a buffer against age-related decline. Tomorrow, before reaching for your phone, open the door. Step out, look up at the sky, and let the light reset your inner clock gently, steadily, and with lasting impact. 4. Staying optimistic and joyful. If there's an invisible habit we carry each morning, it's how we converse with our emotions. Have you noticed? A lingering grudge, a flash of frustration that doesn't fade, and your body responds with a surge of cortisol flooding your bloodstream. When this repeats day after day, cells wear down, immunity weakens, and the hippocampus, the memory hub, shrinks like a dehydrated sponge. Connections in the prefrontal cortex thin out, unsettling focus, emotional control, and decision-making. Science has warned us repeatedly. Prolonged cortisol exposure speeds up cognitive decline and heightens dementia risk. But the story doesn't end there. That same body, when nourished with small joys, gratitude, or a timely spark of optimism, sees inflammation markers like interleukin-6 and C-reactive protein quiet down. At the cellular level, telomeres, the protective caps on chromosomes, tend to stay longer, a sign of preserved biological youth. Studies even suggest optimists live 10–15% longer, not because they're immune to hardship, but because they navigated on a less damaging path. Picture an afternoon in Sardinia. Elders sitting on a porch, recounting tales of that year's grape harvest, breaking into hearty laughter. Around them, grandchildren bustle, busy but unhurried. This connection isn't just a charming spice, it's a biological buffer against stress. In places where centenarians thrive, resilience, humor, and a positive outlook repeat daily, and that repetition becomes a long-term shield for the brain. The good news? Optimism isn't a fixed gift from the heavens. It's a skill you can hone. Just a few weeks of intentional practice can noticeably boost your sense of calm. Jot down a few lines of gratitude each evening, 3 small things, like the scent of toasted bread, a call from an old friend, or sunlight filtering through curtains, and your brain learns to spot positive signals amid the noise. Sit quietly for 10–15 minutes, observing your breath, the rise and fall of your chest, the warmth spreading through your palms. Cortisol eases, and your nervous system shifts to calm mode. Simple, micro-acts, a genuine compliment to a stranger, a few seconds savoring a sip of hot tea, a quick thank you text may seem small, but they stack up, potentially lifting emotional well-being by a quarter in a short time. Your brain is a learning organ. The paths you tread often, it paves with smoother stones. When trouble hits, instead of defaulting to, "I'm not good enough," try asking, "What can I learn to do better next time?" Reframing isn't about sugarcoating reality. It's about redirecting the spotlight from dead ends to viable turns. At the same time, give joy a concrete place in your schedule, an hour of gardening, a few old songs, imperfect brushstrokes on a canvas, or a park stroll with someone who makes you laugh easily. Surround yourself with people who lift you up. Positive circles spark healthier habits. Better eating, more walking, sounder sleep, all looping back to nurture your brain. You don't need to wait for a perfect mood to start. Small actions shape the mood. Today, try beginning with a handwritten note of gratitude. At noon, take 5 minutes to breathe slowly. As evening falls, find a small joy to close the day. If you forget, try again tomorrow. No blame, no judgment. Over time, you'll see invisible numbers shift, lower chronic inflammation, a nimbler mind, memories that linger longer. Optimism isn't a luxury, it's a long-term health strategy, shielding brain and body from the storms of aging. Start with one small act now, and you're planting a brighter sky for the future. Your brain will thank you more than you know. 5. Maintaining positive social connections. Have you ever noticed those days when your body feels inexplicably tired, sleep is restless, your mind stretched thin, and the one thing you're missing isn't a vitamin or a supplement, but a warm conversation? Loneliness is like a cold draft slipping through the cracks of a house, invisible, but it saps warmth, weakens immunity, and lets stress hormones trickle steadily into your blood. When this persists, the brain's memory center shrinks, focus wavers, and cognitive aging quietly accelerates. Research even suggests that the risk of early death from loneliness can rival smoking a dozen cigarettes a day, a comparison that hits hard. In contrast, living among familiar embraces exercises your neural network. Stress cools down, the brain builds a cognitive reserve to withstand aging's changes, and mental sharpness lasts longer. Imagine an ordinary evening. You drop by an old friend's house, sipping tea and laughing until tears well up over a story that's nothing extraordinary. In that moment, your endorphin system lights up. Dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin work in harmony to soothe pain and anxiety, strengthening neural connections. Studies on shared laughter show it can lower cortisol and boost neural bonds, a brain workout that feels effortless and delightful. In longevity hotspots, this scene plays out daily. Multi-generational meals, community gatherings, familiar paths leading to porches full of greetings. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, living with grandchildren wraps elders in a blanket against stress. In Sardinia, storytelling and laughter are the glue of connection. The result is a sense of belonging, a clear purpose, and calmed inflammation markers in the body. But how do you keep those bonds strong in a busy life? Start with small, regular commitments, a call on Wednesday evenings, a Sunday morning coffee, a habit of sending a check-in when someone crosses your mind. Step out of your comfort zone by joining a hobby group or volunteering, and you'll find like-minded people naturally appear. That first conversation is always easier than you think. Host a game night, a potluck dinner, or a neighborhood walk. These simple acts bundle joy, light movement, and social connection into one moment, like stitching three strong threads into the fabric of health. In conversations, listen a beat deeper, ask one open-ended question to let the other person share their story. Trust grows from being heard. And if distance is a barrier, technology can bridge the gap. A video call, a family chat group, reading a story to a grandchild through a screen, not as perfect as a real hug, but still warmth transmitted. The science behind these seemingly ordinary acts is clear. Regular social interaction is tied to longer life and preserved mental clarity. Positive relationships ease systemic inflammation and create conditions for the brain to keep learning. Put simply, the brain is a muscle strengthened by dialogue, laughter, and shared meaning. Each conversation lubricates neural pathways. Each handshake rebalances the heart and immune system. In the long run, connection isn't a luxury, it's a pillar of health. It shields against cognitive decline, lowers dementia risk, and bolsters emotions to carry you through tough seasons. If you've ever closed the door out of hesitation or fatigue, today try turning the handle the other way. Send a text to meet up, chat with a neighbor, sign up for that class you've been curious about. Tiny actions, repeated, weave a sturdy rope, pulling you from the whirlpool of loneliness and setting your heart back to the warm pulse of community. And then, like the Centenarians do every day, you'll find your mind brighter when surrounded by familiar faces. There's a clear thread running through all centenarians who keep their minds sharp. They don't rely on luck, but live by small daily choices. From slow walks in the garden, simple meals bursting with colorful nutrients, a few minutes soaking in morning sunlight, to the way they nurture optimism and close relationships, these blend into a steady rhythm, nourishing brain and body for decades. The key isn't a single secret, but the connection of seemingly ordinary habits that combine into extraordinary strength. We live in a busy world where sitting long hours at screens, rushing through nutrient-poor meals, or hesitating to connect with others can quickly become habits. And from those small habits, the body and brain begin aging sooner than we realize. But the good news is you can shift that trajectory starting today, without drastic changes, just one simple step. Take a short walk, add a green vegetable to your plate, spend 5 minutes breathing deeply in the sun, jot down one thing you're grateful for, or pick up the phone to call a loved one. These small actions are seeds, and over time, they bloom into a vibrant garden in your mind. So don't wait for your body to sound the alarm before acting. You deserve to live healthy, sharp, and independent into your final decades. If you found these insights helpful, please hit like to share this inspiration with others. And don't forget to subscribe to join the channel on this journey, where we'll explore more simple habits that can transform an entire life.